I won't bore you with a long drawn-out speech, I'll leave that to Ossie. But since Ossie organised his own party, the whole thing, which is quite an achievement in itself, and by the way, Ossie, thanks for inviting me, I figured the least I could do was say a few words for him. So here is Ossie through the decades. From what I can gather, the first 10 years of Ossie's life was spent terrorising children on holiday as a Boston Strangler, being trawled to and from school by his older sister Lynn, modelling a selection of slightly dubious children's wear, well, what else would any terribly handsome, blue-eyed child want to do with their days, and by being thoroughly spoilt by his doting parents, who after a 6-year gap between Ossie and his older brother Adam, fell madly in love with their new baby.
Where's my parent?
We're there.
Adam, you're in the way. We're doing a movie.
The second decade was questionably the best years of his life. Yes,
Adam, you're in the
the
way.
Shiplake years. Or as my family affectionately call it, lac de merde. It took Ossie a while to work out the French on that one. After all, public school it may have been, but academic it wasn't. Shiplake, for those of you, though few you must be, don't know, was the school he never quite left behind. As his wife, it has taken literally years for us to have conversations which didn't mention a housemaster, pupil or event at Shiplake. When I first met Ossie, it was obvious that he held this school close to his heart. And I did my best to go along with it, but enough is enough. And I finally had to let it go. Ossie, I think the time has come for you to do the same. And so to his 20s, which I gather was spent taking exams, retaking exams, retaking the retakes of his exam, and so on. He proudly recounts setting off stink bombs with racing ace Damien Hill while at Davis's College. When he was away from his desk, which gathering his success rate would suggest quite often, he would spend nights at the roof garden and taking out exotic girls. And then, just as he was heading towards the big 3-0, he met me! Passed his law finals and gave up the glamorous lifestyle. I missed out there in favour of peaceful domesticity. Yippee! 6 months later, we got engaged, and here we are, 20 plus years on. Oh. Now married and moving up the professional ranks, it did not necessarily mean he had grown up. To the contrary. Known by many as a bit of a Peter Pan, he spent his early 30s treading the very precarious boards to pursue what he believed to be his true calling as an actor. Unfortunately, there was only limited demand for middle-aged New York Jewish men, and the role soon dried up. Go figure. Just in time for Ossie to hit his 40s, and the pinnacle of his television fame, The Esther Show, on which he featured twice with plenty to say about boarding schools. Note the common theme there. He even managed to drag me along and wrote me as guest speaker. He was thrilled. I was horrified.